Out of the park youth here in the park was a lot of LGBTQ youth who were homeless, who were forced to run away, who were kicked out of their house and had nowhere else to go. This was kind of a safe haven for them. And so when the police started to actually bring out people who were being arrested, some people were trying to make a joke out of it. They were kind of dancing around, but it was still really tense. And when a lesbian was being wrestled to the ground, she yelled to the crowd that had formed outside, like, "Why aren't you guys doing something?" And it kind of really sparked the whole beginning of the riots. And people started throwing things. They started forming together. And there were only a few police at that time because this was very routine, and they didn't face a lot of resistance at most of the raids that they would do. And so when the crowd, which had been forming to large numbers, started pushing back against them, they actually were pushed back into the bar and they barricaded themselves. And so the crowd outside just kept growing and growing. So they had to get the tactical police to come in. And so when they got here, they started forming lines, but again, there was a really large crowd outside. It was probably close to a few hundred at that point, which was one of the largest in the history for uprisings in the LGBTQ community. And so they started pushing back against them. And they were the police were trying to run them down the street, but the streets here are like mazes. They're not like the rest of the city where you can easily just turn around and come back. And so the people here, they knew the streets better than the police did, so they were easily able to just come back around and continue fighting. And so that basically happened. It was a full-blown riot at that point, and it went till about 4:30 in the morning when police, neighbors, everyone who was rioting, just everyone was tired.
It was like any other day for us, homeless kids, Washington Square Park, scrounging money up, get our drugs, get our alcohol, hang around the park. It was a normal day for us, and the cops didn't hardly bother us in Washington Square Park. They just left us alone. Maybe there was too many of us, but they hardly ever chased us out of that park. At nighttime, we all slept on the benches or in the grass behind the bushes and everything. And I guess it was about, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, word started coming through. We didn't have cell phones back then, but word of mouth in the West Village was just like having a cell phone. It spread throughout the village, and it got down to Washington Square Park saying, hey, there's something going on at Stonewall, and we all got up and started coming up, and we came up this block here, I think it's Waverly, and came up, and I was about, where that tree is over there. I know you can't see it. across from Stonewall. So when I got here, it was in full blast already. People were screaming and throwing stuff, and the cops were here, and the folks had already been arrested, and they were starting to chase people down towards Greenwich Avenue where the women's prison was, right? And my friend Martin, who you're interviewing later, was telling me that he was on that corner down there.
And so what happened was we went and we saw the drag queens come out to cheers, and other people come out that were ashamed, and the whole panoply of what happened. And it was like every other night. And I remember passing this paddy wagon, and as I looked to the doors, this queen kicked the policeman in the shoulder and pushed him back. He jumped up and ran in and started beating that queen because you could hear the muscle and bone against the tin of the truck. And the car sped away, and he looked at us, and he said, all right, now get the hell out of here. You saw the game, get out. And for the first time, we didn't. And we all found ourselves marching towards him. And I could see the hairs being raised on his neck. And when he turned around, I didn't know what we looked like. But I know he saw what we looked like. And he ran for the bar. And in my section, the riot broke out. And police provocation was enough in every other section, a very small amphitheater, to break out. It was just, they meant a showdown, a scene, and they got it.